Welcome to part 2 of tax. You should be in the Nearpod that is linked in your Google Classroom. Here is your warm-up. Find the percent of each number. This is a slide showing you the problems. Go to the next slide. Here is your activity. You can draw your answers right on. Pause your video and go ahead and solve these, then come back. All right, let's go ahead and solve these. The way I solve them, I know that 12% equals equals 0.12. So I'm going to take 0.12 times, there's a decimal in there, I swear, 75, which equals 9. So I swear there's a decimal. This 35 is the decimal point, 0.35, there we go, times 35, which is 12.25. Number 3, 60% of 28. So I know that 60% is 0.6 times 28 is going to equal 16.8. And then 2% of 10 is going to be 0.02 times 10, which equals 0.2. Ronald paid a $4 fee on a $12 DoorDash order. Find 4% of $12 to determine the amount of the fee. So we're going to take 4%, which is 0.04 times 12. 0.04 times 12 is 0.48. So he spent 48 cents on that order. Once you've answered these, go ahead and click submit. Your I can statements today are: use proportional relationships to solve percent of change problems. We use this in the world to figure out fees all the time. Use estimation and reasoning to verify that the percent of change between two quantities is reasonable. Use proportional reasoning to find the percent of change in real world situations. So we use this in the real world a lot. You're going to see some examples today. Hotel tax. The cost of a hotel room rented for 2 nights is $280. This is also a 12% hotel. There is also a 12% hotel room tax. We need to figure out how much that 12% is. So your open-ended question, I want you to think about this. The cost of a hotel room rented for 2 nights is $280. So there is a 12% hotel room tax. Think about it. Is the tax less than, greater than, or equal to $28? How do you know? Go ahead and type your answer in. It should be about 2 sentences long, as there are 2 questions that we have to answer. All right, so you can see my sample answer. I think it will be greater than $28. 10% of 280 is 28, and 12% is greater than 10%. We'll find out. Is the tax going to be greater, less than, or equal to $28? Make sure you hit your blue submit after you type your answer. What is the cost of the hotel room using ratio reasoning? This is the first way. So we're going to use a proportion to solve this. Let T represent the amount of tax. So T is our tax on the hotel room. 280 is our cost. Remember, T is our part, 280 is our whole. 12 is our part of the percent, 100 is how much a total percent is. So they're in the same place, our part to our whole. Now I have to figure out how to get from my left side to my right side or vice versa. So this says multiplying 100 by 2.8 to get to 280. You could also divide 280 by 100 to figure out what that number is. It's going to give you 2.80. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. Then we're going to have 12 times 2.8 is going to be my T, so 36.60 over 280 equals 12 over 100. So our tax is 33 0.60. I would add the tax to the total cost and get $313.60. The second method we're going to look at is using properties of operations. So we're still going to use T as our amount of tax. We're still going to use our proportion of our part to our whole. So T is our part, 280 is our whole, 12 is our part, 100 is our whole. So then I'm going to do 12 divided by 100. Anytime I divide by a power of 10, I move my decimal to the left that many zeros. So 100 has 2 zeros. I'm going to move it to the left 2 zeros. Or I can use a calculator. So I now have a one-step equation. What do I do to get T by itself? Well, right now, T is divided by 280. So I'm going to multiply the opposite. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. This is the multiplication property of equality. That's just what tells me what I have to do and how math works. Those 280s will cancel out, so I'll now have T equals whatever 0.12 times 280 is. T equals $33.60. That's the same number. Either way works to solve. I don't care which way you go. Solve how you want to. Solve how it makes sense to you. So, when we add the hotel tax, $33.60, to the cost of the hotel room, $280, the cost is $313 using either method. So, you have a check problem. The cost of a hotel room for 5 nights is $610. There is a 9.5% hotel tax. What is the total cost of the hotel room? Use any strategy. You'll go to your next slide. Here is your check. Write your answer here. Come back to the video when you're done. So you can see that I solved using a proportion and then the properties of operations. So I divided 9.5 by 100 and got 0.095, multiplied by 610 and got my answer of 57.95. Make sure you submit your answer. Next, we're going to look at sales tax. We're going to have 3 different ways to solve this. We did sales tax on Monday, Tuesday, I don't know, some day earlier. We did it, and we're going to do it again here. So what is the total cost of the clothing? Find the sales tax is what we're going to do first. So let T represent the amount of tax. Let's see what we do. Hey, look, a proportion. That looks pretty familiar. We have T over 56, how much I spent on clothes, 7.5 over 100. Remember, we're purchasing $56 worth of clothes. So now I'm going to divide my 7.5 by 100. T over 56 equals 0.7075. So I multiply by my denominator to get my T all by itself. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. That's just the multiplication property of equality. And then I simplify. So my tax is $4.20. I would add $4.20 to $56. I get a total of $60.20. I made a typo. I know, that should be a dollar sign. So the total cost is $60.20. Method 2, add the sales tax percent to 100. So because 100% represents the selling price, that whole amount, how much was the item, and the sales tax is an added thing, I can add the sales tax percent to 100%. That total percent is going to be 107.5. So how would I solve using this? Well, I'm going to start with my proportion. C over 56, so my total cost over the item price is 107.5 over 100, because 100 is my total cost. This is my added sales tax. And then I'm going to solve it the same way. Divide by 100, so now I have 1.075 equals C over 56. Multiply by 56. C equals $60.20. Did we get the same answer? Yeah, I just skipped having to add stuff. All right, so the total cost here, $60.20. And now the third way, write an equation. So the total cost is the cost of the clothing plus the sales tax. So let C represent the total cost. So C equals 56 plus 0.075 times 56. So we know what 7.5 as a decimal is. So then I know that 56 is really 56 times 1. And I reordered this so that I had my coefficients in the same place. We're going to use what's called the distributive property. If I do 56 times 1 and 56 times 0.75, I could add those together. Or I can add what's inside the parentheses together because my outside multiplication number is the same. So that's called the distributive property. So I set it up so that I'm going to add them together. I do add them together. 1.075 times 56 gives me a cost of $60.20. So increasing the price by 7.5% is the same as multiplying by 1.075. So using any method, the total cost of clothing is $60.20. You have another check to complete and says, Jimena purchased $24 worth of crafting supplies. The tax rate in her city is 6.25%. What is the total cost of the crafting supplies? Use any strategy. In your Nearpod, here's a draw board. All of this is explained in your Nearpod. You can go do all of the activities there. Come back to see how I solved this. All right, so I chose to solve this adding my 100%. So I have 106.25 over 100 equals my total cost over the cost without sales tax. So I do my division, I get 1.0625. I have to get C by itself, so I multiply by 24. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. C equals 25.50. Make sure you hit submit on your answer. All right, you are done in your Google Classroom. There is a Google form here. There are 6 questions that you need to answer, 2 bonus questions. I have not put the answer key in, so it does not have point values on it. There will be point values in the near future.